Hey everybody, Ben, Somerville Gardener, and today I'm talking about lizards and habitats and what I can do, or what you can do even, on your own property to make it more hospitable for them. And it just so happens I've got a little green anole hanging out on the fence, just staring at me. And there he is right there. A little bit of camera shy, but we won't hold that against him. Some of the other lizards I've found around my property have been the Mediterranean house gecko. I've seen a broad-headed skink and a five-lined skink, or actually a couple of the five-lined skinks. One of them may have been a race runner though. I believe we have race runners here also. I've seen a couple of salamanders. One of them was really cool. It had little spots on it. I'm not sure what kind that is. Drop a comment if you know what kind that is. And on a few occasions I've seen some eastern glass lizards slithering around here, which those are kind of cool because those are, well, they kind of look like snakes, but they're a legless lizard. Now, what the difference is between a legless lizard and a snake, most people will say they don't know. I'm not going to claim to either in this video, but I do kind of think I know. Let's go ahead and look at some of the little lizard habitats that I've set up around my property. This is one area right here that the lizards seem to enjoy quite a lot. Right here in these little gaps and cracks where I have shoddy workmanship, and I'm going to say that that was intentional. The lizards do like to crawl up in and around here and go in here to hide and find bugs and other things. And I'm sure up here in the wood chips, they've also got little tunnels and burrows and things that they've got underneath. I'm just assuming, I don't know. May not seem like it, but over here by the air conditioner, there's a little habitat set up, which is where when I was laying all these wood chips, I was tossing all these sticks and twigs, and I've got an extra garden hose laying here. Quite a few lizards like to hang out in and around here in the little sticks and stuff. It gives them good cover. There's a few bugs, I'm sure, crawling around in here that they can hunt. And then I also see them crawling across over behind the air conditioner. They quite frequently are running up and down the gutter. And I may see if I can drop a picture or a little video in here of a couple that like to go up and down this gutter right here. I think she likes to play hard to get. This right here is what I call lizard tower. I'm gonna be reconstructing this and talking a little bit about that in a little bit. I was about to say that I was gonna put a picture here, but we seem to have a visitor at the same time. And here's that little guy right there. Yep, don't mind us. We're just hanging out here, taking a look at you. It's kind of surprising how close they let the camera get sometimes. Really close. That camera's about 2 inches from the lizard's face. Really weird how they just don't seem to mind the camera at all sometimes. And other ones, you put a camera at them and they're like, oh no, he's gonna get us. Over here at the base of the bananas, where I pile up all the leaves and all the debris and things around here, and see if we can find one scurrying around here. And of course, because I say I'm looking for one, probably not gonna find one. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said anything because now they're gonna hide from me. Okay, on to the next spot. One of the reasons the lizards like those big planty areas is because they like to lay their eggs around the plants in plant debris down around the base. And this here is what I call stick pile, stick mountain, stick something or other. As I was taking all the brush and things out of the wood chips and any other bushes and brush that I've taken down, I've just piled them into this little pile. And specifically the skinks and anoles really like this pile. Let's see if I can get this guy right here. Yep, he's gonna let me get pretty close to him. That's kind of cool. Hey guy, how you doing? Let's see what else we can find. Yeah, some of the lizards just are not camera shy whatsoever. Oh, the bunny rabbits. Bunny rabbits also like that little stick pile. They can lay their babies underneath it. No, they don't really lay babies like eggs. They can hatch their babies. No, I don't think they hatch either. So anyway, they just have their babies and they hide them underneath that pile. And that way dogs, cats, things like that can't get to them. And then I see 1,000 little bunny rabbits running around here every year. And I'm not sure if you know this or remember, but I've got a greyhound. And guess what he likes to do? We'll get to that graveyard here in a little bit, maybe. You don't want to see that. Now this area over here used to be my axe throwing target, and it got tore apart. It fell apart. Did I say anything about my shoddy workmanship? I keep thinking that one of these days I'm going to do something with this area. But till then, the anoles and the salamanders. Salamanders? Maybe it's the skinks. I think it's the skinks that like this area. And if I didn't know any better, I'd say that's a sweet potato. What's a sweet potato doing down here? We'll talk to that guy later. See what he's doing under there. On to the next lizard area. We're gonna come back up here to the front of the yard. Let me pick up one of these boards under here and see if we can find a skink or anything under here. Or a snake. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a good thing the cameraman never dies. Nope, nothing today. Oh well, maybe next time. But I have seen some skinks and other lizards running around here. None of them want to come out and say hi though. I'm sure they'll come out and play later. And again, this whole area over here where the bananas are, There's plenty of debris down below. They like to lay their eggs in that debris. And then of course there's lots of bugs and other things for them to eat. So they hang around here quite often. And what's really cool is when these bananas grow up nice and big and tall, sometimes I'll be walking underneath a banana and see the leaf all lit up like this with a lizard crawling around here on top of the leaf. That's always kind of cool. So besides those little areas, I'm also going to be building a small little habitat area over here in my mint area. It's going to include one of the houses that I'm going to show you how to build here in just a minute. But there's also things that you can do, like finding little chunks of bark, sticks, things like this, which will help bugs find a spot to hide. And you can just put together a little spot like this and a nice little hide like that, and lizards will find their way over here. They can bask up on top, and then bugs and things in the bottom, or they can just hang out in the bottom and get shelter from birds and other things that might eat them. And some rocks. You need a couple rocks just for fun. You never know, they might want a nice little basking rock. And just for fun, let's set a couple of rocks right here. If nothing else, it'll help hold that down. And they're white rocks, so they shouldn't get too extremely hot. Let's go on to the building process of houses, because lizards like to live in an apartment or a condo or a mansion. So what I've got set up here, there's some hexagonal, I think that's called, 6 sides, hexagon? Yeah, I think that's what they're called. I've got 2 of them. We're gonna call this the apartment. We're gonna call this one the condo, and I'm gonna call this one the mansion. Kind of wish I could have done like a 2 or 3 different shaped thing for the mansion. This is all that I found for scrap at Lowe's. Each of these items here were in the discount bin. They were on the little clearance area. Probably just leftover scraps from what some people didn't want, or maybe it's an old model or something. But if you go over to those areas, you can sometimes find some tile pieces like this for super cheap. But we need some glue too. I just got a sweet delivery. A sweet delivery? A sweet plant? A new sweet plant. Let's just check out what I got. Oh look, it's grass. How cool is that? But it's not just any grass. This is the sweetest grass that I could find. So one of these is a Don Cinco sugarcane plant, and the other one is a Florida red sugarcane plant. So I'm gonna get back to making my stuff, and I'll get back to these guys in just a little bit. See you in a couple days. You'll be seeing me in here in just a minute. Don't get confused, keep watching. So I've got 2 different types of glue here. One's liquid nails, all-purpose brand, something or other. This one here. And of course E6000. This stuff's great for all kinds of stuff. And I'm sure you're wondering, why is it that I have all these random piece things? Something that's gonna need to be mortared in and make somebody's wall look pretty. Well, that is what I'm gonna call my structural supports, I guess. That's what I'm gonna make the towers out of. I know it's confusing, hang on, let me show you. So I selected these specifically because it had a lot of individual little pieces. And what I'm gonna do here is either use scissors or a knife, something like this, nice and dangerous like. And I'm going to cut apart all these little doodads in here that are going to give me all this structural support. Now, after fighting with the knife and scissors, trying to cut these individual things off, I realize it's just easier to just rip them off. Not sure I can do it with one hand to show you how easy it is, but yeah, it's just that easy. So on to the next part. Let's start with the apartment first. I'm gonna take one of these little doodads here, and then I'm gonna put some of these things in here, and I'm pretty sure that it doesn't matter what the arrangement is or how you do it. You put it at the corners, you put it at the flats. I don't really think it matters. Point them in, point them out, do whatever you want. There's no wrong way. I'm not using instructions here. Once I get these things all set up the way that I want them, I'm going to use either some liquid nails or the E6000 to just pour some goo around here, stick them down, and then I'm gonna put the next one on top of that, and the next one on top of that. I'm thinking 3 tall should be pretty good for the first floor. And make sure you save your instructions. I'm sure somebody will find those very helpful in the future. Well, it's a good thing I brought my scissors out. I need to cut that just a little bit. I like to do an angle. Maybe you don't. You do you. What does this look like? Ooh, it looks like toothpaste. I wonder if I could brush my teeth with this. We'll save that for the next episode. So let's shoot a little bit of goo right here. Put that guy down. Put a little goo right here. Put that one down. And put a little goo right there. And put that down. That's so easy, even I can do it. So I'm gonna keep doing this a few more times, and I'll show you what the first level looks like, as long as it doesn't all fall over. And I don't glue my fingers together. That is most certainly gonna happen. Now that I've got my first floor all done, make sure that I glue my fingers together very well on this. Yeah, let's give it just a little bit more. Just a little dab there, 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 and there. And we're gonna put the next floor on. For these next couple layers, I'm only going to use 2 of these because I'm running short on these and I don't really want to, have this thing be too tall of an apartment building. You just want to make sure it's the main lobby area. There's plenty of room to get in there. And I'm pretty sure that if I put 2 layers on here, that's probably going to be pretty good. Oh yeah, that's gonna be plenty tall for them to get in. Nice little height for them to get away from other creatures. Oh yeah, fingers are definitely getting glued together. Now I'm gonna put the next level on. Now I'm sure at a certain point, it's probably gonna be good for me to just give this just a few minutes to cure. This stuff usually sets up pretty quickly, like maybe 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure I can use this for a cap. Yeah, that should work. I'm gonna come back to this in about 10 minutes. Oh no, now my cap's stuck to my finger. Try this again. Just glue that to that there, and just set this down somewhere. This'll work. This isn't gonna work. This is gonna totally work. Don't move. Stay right there. Nope, not gonna work. I need to have a cap that goes on here. Saran wrap would probably work real well. I'll just put my finger over it. That'll keep it from drying out. Or it'll glue my finger to the top. Who knows? Okay, now it's been about 10 minutes that I've not been sitting here the whole time. I've been walking around. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe. I'm not sure if the wind's gonna cooperate with my subscribe sign. Anyway, so how stuck on is this? Oh, yeah, that wasn't so bad. Ooh, kind of burns a little bit. Probably shouldn't do that. This has some rigidity to it now. And since I'm running out of things to use, I do think that this thing needs a full 2 layers of these things. So let's put on one of these, maybe one of these. I'm sure that'll hold it well enough. I'm sure the lizards won't mind a bit. I am going to need to get a few more of these though. And there we go. Grab a couple more of these. And there we go. The first lizard apartment is done. I'm gonna go ahead and set this off to the side. Hopefully it doesn't shift or move or anything a whole lot. Come back in a couple hours and see what it looks like. While I'm waiting for that first one to cure and dry, I'm gonna go ahead and use these larger ones to go ahead and do the same exact thing. And then I'm going to move on to the big boy. I think this is about a 12-inch square. Yeah, we'll go with that. That's about 12 inches. Probably be able to use some of these and maybe even put one like right in the middle. Oh, this mansion's gonna look so cool. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make these other 2. And I'll be right back with you. It has now been a couple hours of the glue drying and curing right here in the sun, and it's getting mostly hard. I stuck them up in this little pile here just to see what would happen or what would it look like if I just made a mega mansion, which, even though it looks kind of cool, it wouldn't be a very good idea because they're very territorial, which means that you might have a really cool looking place like this, but in this megalopolis city that you got here, only 2 or 3 lizards would really frequent this very often. So it'd probably be better to split these up. So I'm gonna take this first one here, the apartment, and I'm going to put it somewhere. Where am I gonna put this? Just because I haven't seen a whole lot of lizards over here by this peach tree, I'm gonna see if I can encourage some of them by putting this, how about right here in the shade, so that it gets some good sun. Oops, don't be too violent with them until you know they're dry. Let's get that put back together. Like it never happened. They'll never know that I tried to rip down their home before they even got here. That should be good. Okay, let's be a little bit more careful with that now. Like it never happened. It'll cure and dry just fine, right there. So with that underneath the peach tree right there, what I'm hoping happens is that it warms up during the day, and then at night, or in the evening time, or the morning, whenever they're looking for some place to sun, they can go ahead and warm their little bellies right there on the roof of the house. Now the apartment here, this is the apartment? Which one is this? Apartment? Condo. This is the condo, I guess. That's what I'm calling this one. It's just a little bit bigger than an apartment. I'm gonna stick this right over here by the lighthouse because I know that there's a bunch of them over here. So I'm gonna set this over here by the lighthouse where I've also got the turtle guy. There's my little miniature habitat right there. There's a nice log right here where they like to run along and find some little bugs and stuff. Well, it's not so much a log as a branch. A really big branch. Well, kind of a big branch. And I know there's already many lizards over there, so I'm sure they'll get some use out of it. On to the mansion. Where am I gonna put the mansion? How about we put it behind the blackberries? Or over by the low plot over there. I know there's at least a few different ones over there also. Maybe they need a nice little house to live in. Maybe they're getting tired of living underneath the air conditioner. I'm gonna try to be really careful. Not step on a wasp. Oh, wow, I just stepped right over him. And don't drop this contraption of sorts. This big pile of whatever this is. All right, let's set this. I'm gonna go ahead and put it right here behind the blackberries. That way I can see it from my window right there behind me. And I know there was an anole right over here. Where did it go? No sooner than I came through here picking a bunch of the blackberries, I threw a bunch of the old ones, or the ones that birds have been pecking at, on the ground, which attracts the flies, of course. And then, well, it also helps when you you smash them out just a little bit like that, and like that one over there. See how it attracts the flies? And you know what flies attract? Besides disease? Lizards. They like to eat flies. Or at least mine do. I have no idea where that one went. She was right there. Just a little girl. Oh well. Now, a little bit more about lizards in your backyard and what you can do to help them out. Now, one of the most important things that you can do to help, well, pretty much anything in your yard live is to not spray pesticides and herbicides on anything or everything. And especially the pesticides though, because if you go killing the bugs that the lizards are gonna eat, either they're eating poisoned insects or you're removing their food source from them. And of course you can plant local flowers and other plants, native things to this area or your area. And while you might like to have a nice, clean, litter-free yard, the bugs and lizards, they don't really care too much about that. If you leave the leaf litter in and around the plants, it encourages the little bugs to hide underneath and the lizards to go in and find them. And along with the leaf litter, go ahead and just provide a little bit of mulch around your flowers, plants, and trees. It'll provide a nice, cool, moist area for things to hide underneath. And of course, then places for your lizards to go hunt and find those things. And of course, since they like to climb up on things, if you had a nice little vine that you could plant, something with nice little leaves, might need some bats also for all these flying bugs. That video's coming up. What were they saying? Vines. Yes, vines. Bunny plants, anything that they can climb up, make it easier for them to get up and down and around on poles or to go from one level to another. And of course, shade. Shade is also a very important thing to have. So as long as they can, have a nice little respite from the heat and the sun, because while they do like to sunbathe, it's also nice to have a nice little shady spot to retreat to when you need to. It helps them regulate their body temperature. And of course, just like some poisons can take out their food source and possibly them if they consume it, make sure you keep those cats indoors. Or just don't have cats around. Or just call animal control. Set out traps, get rid of those cats. Because they will hunt and catch and just destroy your population of lizards. And nobody wants that. Lizards are way cooler than cats anyway. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the like button. It really does help out small channels like this to get the name out there and around so more people see videos like this. If you go down in the description, there'll be links to some stuff. Maybe it's something you need, maybe it's not. Anytime you click on a link and then buy anything that you were gonna buy anyway, it helps support the channel. And with all that support, it means that I can buy more stuff for the channel and provide more content. Provide more content? Provide better content. Just provide content. So make sure you keep those thumbs green, pests away, and know that you are appreciated. If you take flowers out of a vase and just stick them in the ground, means it like planting flowers? I don't think it'll grow that way. But it could form little seeds and drop them. I'm not even sure what this is. It's pretty though. We'll just leave that right there. Give it a little turn. There we go. That looks good. Now where did Batman's house go? Ah, there it is. Yes, Batman's house is almost ready to go. Look for that in a future video.